Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Deck, and if you enjoy talking about movies and TV in any way, shape or form, you're going to feel right at home here. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars TV shows that were announced at the Disney Investor Day, ranked in terms of my excitement. So let's discuss. So the Disney Investor Day took place earlier this week, and it was a big day for us Disney fans, and also Marvel fans, and also Star Wars fans, as we got all the announcements from Disney themselves straight from the horse's mouth, where they revealed a huge number of upcoming projects, things that are coming to theaters, things that are coming to Disney Plus, and everything else in between. It was a very, very exciting day, and with that we got a whole load of announcements of new Star Wars projects, new Marvel projects, and new Disney and Pixar projects as well. So what I want to do in this video is discuss all of the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series that were announced at the event and rank them in terms of my excitement. I was going to do this for Marvel as well, but I literally did a Marvel Disney Plus one not long ago, and there was only a few more shows announced, so I wasn't really feeling making a whole new video about that. But I want to do a Star Wars one, so let's dive into it and kick off my ranking with number 9. In at the bottom of my list is A Droid Story. This for me just doesn't appeal for me. Even though I absolutely adore the characters of C-3PO and R2-D2, C-3PO is probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters, probably in my top 10 probably. I just don't really care for this. I feel like this is going to be a very much more child-centric CV series. It's going to be a lot more based on shorts and kind of comedic things like that. So, you know, just in comparison to the rest of the stuff we have on this list, it just doesn't really compare, and it doesn't really do much for me personally. Coming in at number 8, we have Star Wars Visions, and this is kind of like what Marvel's doing on Disney Plus with their one-shot series, What If? It's kind of similar, but we're going to be getting some Star Wars shorts, and apparently they're going to be more in an anime style than rather typical Western animation. Now, this for me is an interesting one. You know, I'm very quite interested in what Marvel's doing with What If, but I'm a lot more interested in What If than I am in Star Wars Visions. For me, I think this could be really cool for some people to come in and, you know, do some really unique, really awesome stuff. But because it's in an anime style, which anime isn't something that typically appeals to me, I don't really know if I'm going to care for this series. And also the stories, you know, it can be very hit and miss. You know, we might have some episodes that absolutely slap, and then we'll have other episodes that will be kind of boring. So really, this show could go either way for me. I'm just not really that excited about it, at least right now. Coming in at number 7 is Star Wars The Bad Batch. Now, this could honestly go much higher for me once I actually watch Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7, because I've actually not seen it yet. And to be honest, I kind of want to go and watch all of The Clone Wars again before I watch Season 7, because it's been a long time since I've watched The Clone Wars, and I don't really remember a lot of it. So I kind of want to go back and fully watch all The Clone Wars, because that's where The Bad Batch really come into play. So I don't really know The Bad Batch. So for me, this series, I think it's cool, and I'm excited because it's Dave Filoni doing yet another Star Wars animated series that's going to carry on from the Clone Wars. I just haven't really seen The Bad Batch yet, so it's not really something that I can get super excited about, just because I don't really know who these characters are. But like I say, Dave Filoni doing another animated Star Wars show on Disney Plus, I'm here for that. Coming in at number 6 is Lando. Now, this was not a series I expected. I was very surprised to see this come up here. Now, Lando is a really great character for me. He's one of my all-time favorite Star Wars characters. I love the Billy D. Williams interpretation of Lando, and I also really enjoyed the Donald Glover version of Lando as well from Solo. I think both of those versions of the character are absolutely spot on. And, you know, this Lando series I think could be really cool depending on what they do with it, and also which version of Lando that it is. Because to be honest, even though I love Billy D. Williams and I prefer him to Donald Glover, I would much rather we actually get a Donald Glover version of the Lando series rather than Billy D, simply for the fact that Billy D is an old man, and I don't really know how exciting a Disney Plus Lando series with him would be. That's not to say he can't be in it, but I don't really feel like he would be the main character. I feel like this would be a lot more of an exciting series if we find out that it is Donald Glover who's going to be the main protagonist of the series. And what I really hope this series is a continuation of the story we saw in Solo. I don't really know if that's going to happen though, given the fact that those characters and that storyline seems to have kind of been buried by Disney, and I don't really know how intrinsic Lando would have been to that story anyway, but I think it's going to be really cool if they actually continue the story from Solo, continue the story with Kira and Darth Maul and the underground world of Star Wars. That, to me, would make this series really exciting, really interesting. And then we can have sequences sort of in the future where we see Billy D, who's kind of maybe narrating or telling the story. And then in the actual action scenes and in the actual main plot of the story, we have Donald Glover as Lando. That, for me, would make this a very exciting Disney Plus series. But given the fact we don't really know a lot about it, this is kind of where it lands on the list. Kicking off my top 5 is Star Wars Andor. This is the Cassian Andor spin-off series, which is of course a spin-off of Rogue One. And this, to me, I think could be really cool. Rogue One is actually my least favourite Star Wars film. Like, out of the mainline Star Wars movies, it is my least favourite one. Just because on the most recent watch of it, I just kind of found it a little bit boring in places, and I found it difficult to get invested in these characters that you just know are going to die. So, for me, I found it a little bit difficult to get invested in Rogue One, but this series could help a little bit with that, given the fact that this is a prequel series with Cassian, who is definitely my favourite character among the Rogue One squadron. So for me, I'm very excited to see what this series does. You know, similarly to what I said just about Lando and with Solo, what I really liked about that movie was that it kind of delved into this darker underworld of crime within the Star Wars universe, and I feel like Cassian Andor is going to do the same thing. I feel like we're going to really dive into this darker, more mysterious, more crime area of Star Wars, which is kind of what they hinted at with Cassian in Rogue One. So I'm very excited to see that. Also, this does bring back K2SO, who was a great droid. Really funny, really comedic, great timing. So I feel like those two characters reteaming for this series is definitely a plus. And also, I like Diego Luna. I liked him as Cassian Andor. I thought he was very good in the role. So I'm excited to see more of him. And again, I think this show could actually add a lot more weight and a lot more emotion to Rogue One. That is there right now currently for me. Coming in at number 4 is Star Wars Acolyte. And honestly, this could go higher for me given when we find out more about it. But this sounds like a great idea. A Star Wars series set in the High Republic era, which is about 300 or so years before the prequels. And it's going to show the rise of the dark side. And what I think this is going to be is this is going to be the first Sith. And I think that's going to be really exciting. I think this is going to be really fun. We actually have a Star Wars series set in a proper ancient era of Star Wars. And we get to see the rise of the Sith and the rise of the dark side. And I think this could be the very first Jedi who turned to the dark side. That, for me, is really exciting, really fun. And this is an era of Star Wars that has never been explored in live action. We've never seen the High Republic era in live action. This is around the time those new novels are coming out, so that's going to be really fun. So, you know, if you're interested in that, you should be interested in this series. And again, the Acolyte, cool title. I think this is going to be the first sort of dark side character who's really going to make an impact in the Star Wars universe, you know, timeline-wise. And I believe this will probably be a female-led series as well, which would be a really nice touch. So I feel like the Acolyte is a really exciting one. And once we find out more about it, it could jump up this list. Coming in at number 3 is Rangers of the New Republic. Now, this is going to be a Mandalorian spin-off, and I suspect this is going to be the Cara Dune spin-off starring Gina Carano. I think this is what this is going to be, given what's going on in Mandalorian Season 2 this year, you know, with her character and where she's been and what she's doing now, given the fact that she is now a Ranger of the New Republic. I think that that is going to be where this goes. There's been a lot of rumors about a Cara Dune spin-off, and I feel like that's going to happen. Now, regardless of what you think of Gina Carano, this series, I think, could be really cool. You know, I really like The Mandalorian because it does something different than what we've seen in Star Wars before. You know, again, kind of like what I said with Lando and with Andor, you know, it kind of focuses on a different era. You know, it's not really about lightsabers and force powers and stuff like that. It's a lot more gritty and grounded, and I feel like Rangers of the New Republic will sort of follow suit with that, especially because this is a spin-off of The Mandalorian. That also could lead to Mando himself showing up in the series, which would be absolutely awesome. So I feel like Rangers of the New Republic, just given the fact it's a Mandalorian spin-off and more of that world and potentially more of those characters, that for me is a big thumbs up. Coming in at number 2 is Ahsoka, and this is just incredible. Again, this is technically another Mandalorian spin-off, as we did have Ahsoka show up in episode 5 of The Mandalorian this season, and what an impression she left on people. I mean, Ahsoka is such a great character. You know, I loved her in Clone Wars when I watched it. I've actually not watched Star Wars Rebels, which I know is where a lot of fans' love for Ahsoka comes from, but I really love her in Clone Wars, and, you know, to see her in live action was really great. I think Rosario Dawson did an awesome job portraying the character. Seeing her, you know, with 2 white lightsabers, we've never seen that in live action before, that was great. And they kind of hint in that episode, you know, at her future and the story of this. It seems like that in this series, she's going to be hunting down Admiral Thrawn, which is something I know is a lot more hinted at within the Rebels show, which is something I really need to check out now. It's on Disney+. But that's really cool, and it seems like they might actually be bringing in the character of Rebels, which is Ezra Bridger. He may also be in the show as well, as he's going to be, she's going to be hunting him down throughout this season. Really exciting stuff. Really cool. You know, I loved Ahsoka in it. I can't wait to see her again in live action. I think Rosario Dawson did an incredible job. And again, this is a Mandalorian spin-off, so it's going to be more of that world. So that, for me, is incredibly exciting. So an Ahsoka series, I am all here for that, and I cannot wait to see how it all comes together. My number one spot, though, has to go to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I think any Star Wars fan is going to have this at the top. I mean, a Obi-Wan series, absolutely. I mean, I know Obi-Wan was technically, like, the main character of the prequel trilogy, but, I mean, to give Obi-Wan, like, his pure own series on Disney Plus is exactly what people want. And bringing back Ewan McGregor, who is just so passionate about this role and cares so much about this character, and exploring this era of Obi-Wan's life that we don't really know about, that is just something I am totally here for. And the announcement that we got at the Disney Investor Day that Hayden Christensen is coming back to play Darth Vader in this series. Wow, like, just wow. You know, that's going to be so incredible. They have such great moments to actually explore here in this series between Obi-Wan and Anakin, or now Vader. I think that's going to be a lot of great tension, a lot of great conflict, and a lot of great emotion too. You know, Ewan McGregor also hinted at the fact that him and Darth Vader are going to clash again in this series, so we may get yet another fantastic, exciting lightsaber sequence like we got at the end of Revenge of the Sith between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I think it's going to be so exciting for me. And also just to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, he's kind of at the perfect point in his life to actually do a series like this, you know, given the age of Obi-Wan at this point. It's just perfectly timed, it's perfectly suited for Disney Plus, and it's something that I cannot wait to see, and how it ties into other things, how it leads into the original trilogy. We may even see a young Luke Skywalker in this series, as he will be about 10 years old as when the series takes place. There's just so much potential here. I cannot wait to see what they do with it. And, you know, Ewan McGregor, he's coming back. Finally, it took a long time, but he's finally coming back in this Obi-Wan series, so this has to be my most anticipated for sure. So there you have it, guys. There's the Disney Plus series for Star Wars that I'm most excited about. Make sure you let me know your ranking in the comments down below. Which ones are you looking forward to? Are you not looking forward to others? Let me know whatever you think in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more movie, TV content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me. And I hope to see you guys again next time.